something was shared on this platform that scared the shit out of people in the EU or people in power or Macron or his husband or wife or whatever she is. And I think probably that got them a little bit worried, and they're like, we gotta shut this thing down. We gotta shut it down, guys.
Welcome back to Token Narratives with Bitcoin.com, where we discuss the biggest stories shaping the Bitcoin and cryptoverse. I'm Graham, repping the marketing function at Bitcoin.com. And with us this week, we have the usual suspects, that being Bitcoin.com CEO Corbin Fraser and David from the news team, who is fresh off of 2 days and half a dozen interviews at WebEx Tokyo, which is one of Asia's biggest conferences that focuses on blockchain and crypto. We'll be grilling David on what the major narratives at the conference were and whether Japan is, in fact, a great place for Web3. But before we get into that, just a quick reminder about Bitcoin.com's Verse token airdrop. The claiming period for season 1 of our airdrop program will wrap up in a little over a week. So if you've used the Bitcoin.com wallet app, be sure to check airdrop.verse.bitcoin.com to see if you're eligible. And also a reminder to stay tuned for season 2 details. All right, let's get into it. Starting off with a markets gut check. We remain locked in that same range that we've been in since March, so 6 months now. If I had to make a prediction, it would be one more significant dump in September. So September's a red month, followed by up only through to the US election and beyond to Valhalla. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds kind of about right for me as well. I think, do you guys, what's it called? Listen to the Jackson Hole, Powell speech kind of stuff?
I listen to commentary on it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I just read tweets about things. I don't actually listen or watch anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I should correct myself. I didn't actually listen to the man. But yeah.
But I heard that he turned his head in a certain direction and sneezed twice, which indicated that I don't know if that's bullish or something.
He apparently some of the language he used in the speech was quite dovish, as in dovish. I wonder where these words come from.
I hate finance people that use that type of word. Oh, it's a very hawkish statement.
But basically meaning that they can turn on the money printers if they notice any weakness in the labor market, right?
Wasn't Elizabeth Warren pushing for was it like 75 bips cut?
Was she really?
I heard that.
Good Lord.
Yeah. She was like really hammering the Fed to be like, let's go, put the printer back on and make it go 3 times as fast as normal. I mean, they're trying to get that the stimmy thing going before the election and make it, close Kamala and Biden on a high note. Like, look at what we've done. We've done everything so great.
Which will be good for crypto.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I don't really care who does it. Just do it.
So yeah, and then that coupled with the fact that traditionally the fourth quarter is green. Apparently, the money that is sidelined during the summer comes back around September, end of September. And so you see a fourth quarter price appreciation.
Yeah.
Usually.
I feel like it feels like Groundhog Day. We've had the same conversation for weeks now. But it's almost the last day of August. So summer's almost over. People who have money are returning from the Hamptons.
That's right.
And
putting trades
going to
back
be pumping our bags very, very shortly. So
we're going to dump on them.
I do kind of feel like we're peak stupid. We're peak retail. You know, we're just like looking at the charts like any day now, guys. You still buying? I don't know, kind of a little bit. Yeah. Am I stupid to be doing so? Probably. Is my wife pissed off that I'm still buying? Yep, most certainly.
She doesn't know.
Speaking of buying, and actually this ties into a news, probably the biggest news story this week, which I think we should discuss, which is the arrest of Telegram CEO Pavel Durov. And I mean, obviously, let's talk about that. Do you guys have any hot takes on that? The guy was arrested. Yeah, go ahead.
First, I want to just understand. I've heard he's got 100 kids. Explain that to me. What's going on there? Is this like sperm donation, or is he just like lining ladies up? What's his play here?
I don't know, but I've seen pictures of the man, and like he's a specimen of,
for sure. So it wouldn't be unrealistic to have like a queue, but I'm also kind of curious, like, what's the logistics here?
Yeah.
That's funny.
There's a few things that are quite suspicious about it. I mean, I saw some Tucker clips, right? Because Pavel Durov was on Tucker's show recently, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't waste my time or money on things like private jets. But he apparently landed in France in a private jet. So,
well,
I don't know. There's something.
He was entertaining his Mossad agent, that Instagram honey. You know,
yeah, that was posting everything. You
gotta impress the ladies. This is how you get 100 kids.
Yeah, and I also, Graham, when I saw some of the like crypto Twitter weird defenses of him, were like, look how awesome he is, and there was like pictures of him getting into cold baths, looking like some kind of male model and stuff. I'm like, huh, that's very odd, interesting.
Yeah.
He's a very pretty man.
Enya music playing in the background or something.
He's a very he's very comely.
Yeah.
But
it's envy.
Yeah,
it's envy.
Well,
really.
Okay, we got to talk about.
Well, here's something.
This relates to crypto. Yeah,
here's something serious though. So Telegram is not what's it called? Naturally encrypted, right? It's an opt-in encryption.
Yeah.
Right. So it's different. It's different than like WhatsApp or
Signal.
Most
of your chats are not.
Almost all. The only way you can do
it,
do a secret chat, and it has to be mutual on both sides. You can't like have it on one side. So what happens is Telegram, this is what they say at least, they get all your data. They have unfettered access to it. And then they say they encrypt it on their servers, right? So one idea, though, is the reason that a government like France or whatever would be kind of more inclined to attack him is because they can get access to the data, right? Conceivably. Whereas with WhatsApp or Apple or these others, it's built in the protocol so that they can't get access to your data.
Well, wait, maybe let's not carry water for WhatsApp. Nobody knows. That's like That's like a Facebook Meta product, isn't it? So
right.
It's like,
that's fine. Yeah.
I mean,
but still, at least on the surface, I would say it's better to have like encryption built into it from the ground up. So,
yeah. Well, my instinct tells me there's a lot of things going on here and behind the scenes, and we are just getting fed some narrative that 10 years from now will be determined to be like totally
What do you
wrong.
think, Graham? What do you think's going on?
Give me your tinfoil hat, Graham.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Let me borrow it.
What's
What's going on?
I don't really have a good theory, but it probably has something to do with like, I don't know, the CIA or something.
We need to ask our friend Toby. I need to get in a chat with him. What about you, Corbin? Any ideas?
Man, I don't know. I wear my tinfoil hats way too hard, and I shouldn't publicly share all the stupid stuff I think.
Fair enough.
I would say though that like I haven't been deleting chats yet. Let's put it that way. I'm not that worried. You know, Like I feel like I say a lot of stupid stuff at some point, whether it's the CIA, Durov, his brother, his Mossad honey baby. Someone's going to eventually be like, oh, yeah, here's all our chats. Look at all the dumb stickers we've shared.
Oh, no.
No. It is what it is. Whatever. We're all in there.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
At some point, it's kind of like there's a safety in numbers feeling here where I'm sure I have not said the most egregious things compared to like all of the other idiots in crypto. So I'm fine. I'm cool with it. If we have to move on to Signal, if we have to move on to something else, you know what? Maybe this is good. Maybe it's like this forces us to kind of reanalyze, like, why the hell is crypto people all using like Telegram? You go to these conferences, everyone's pulling out their little Telegram QR. And nobody's using encrypted chats. They're just like,
Yeah, it is bizarre. Well, you mentioned it.
It's just a good UX. That's why I use it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I like it. It's the least shitty of all of the chat apps that I use. Yeah.
I thought it was funny the detail though that apparently Macron invited him for dinner or whatever. Like what?
Such a French move. It's just passive aggressive.
It's so lame. Like what a thing to do.
French people are truly the worst.
But like, can you imagine though how it's gonna harm his ability to meet with other people? Like imagine if because this has to happen. It happens in Japan. Like he reaches out to Zuck or any other tech billionaires like
come
hey,
on
let's
over.
have lunch, and they're like, fuck,
eat a baguette.
no, the fuck away from me. I'm not going to Friends.
Another little tidbit that was that the CEO of Rumble, legged it out of Europe as soon as this news broke. Rumble, of course, being a platform, a YouTube clone, I guess you could call it, where free speech reigns, and it was also banned in France. And I'm
was
sure
it really
that you could get someone, the owner of Rumble, the CEO of Rumble, surely is culpable if someone who has watched a Rumble video commits a terrorist act.
So I mean, maybe just to run down this Durov thing, they're going after him because other people are using this platform to share Israeli leaks, pornography, drug trafficking,
terrorism. I'm sure is in there.
Terrorism, and they're saying
that's what it seems like.
You're complicit.
Yeah,
but I mean, like,
and you haven't been cooperating. You didn't respond to the law enforcement's requests for more information
for the data.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, so then the question is, what prompted that? What information was recently shared on this platform that got them in a tizzy? Because it's not like they're like going to just be like, hey, you know what? We're just going through the list of all the chat apps that haven't, provided us with unfettered access to their users' data. It looks like Telegram's on the list. We better catch up on that one. Like something was shared on this platform that scared the shit out of people in the EU or people in power or Macron or his husband or wife or whatever she is. And I think probably that got them a little bit worried, and they're like, we gotta shut this thing down. We gotta shut it down, guys.
I think when I read it, when I heard the news, I thought it was about like civil unrest. That's my guess, right? Like this, what do they say in the U.S. now? Homegrown terrorism, basically people who disagree with the government. The currently in power government.
Whoever.
And so that's what there's my tinfoilness coming up, because that's what I think they were like. Give us the names and the logs of people who are protesting and don't like.
It's just funny that they didn't do that during any of the other like left wing demonstrations.
I think they did. I think they were asking for a while, and then they finally just were like, well, we're gonna take you out to dinner.
Take you out to dinner and then take you off the chessboard.
Yeah.
Well, so he's going to court early next week supposedly, and he's not free. But I think briefly people thought he was free, and then tons started pumping. That's funny. Crypto's fun.
You guys want to talk about Ton for a moment? Is this a buy opportunity for Ton?
I think so.
Okay,
but they had an outage as well, right?
Yeah, they were down. But you know what? I'm actually bullish on downtime on blockchains. That's like, Solana, they did pretty well.
Bullish outage.
Yeah, I think there's like a hidden bull signal that like, okay, it's stupid.
Oh.
Like the fundamentals of
that
it.
makes sense.
It's dumb, but like, I don't know. It seems like having a little bit of downtime is not the worst. Avalanche had some downtime before.
Yeah.
Came out
and
okay.
It's because it's being used, right? Like that's why they have outages, presumably, because people are using it.
Unless it's like Macron got the keys and like shut down Ton, and who knows, right?
That would be very not bullish.
Can you guys clarify though? Like Ton is okay. So Ton did an ICO, then was beat up by the SEC. Then they didn't do Ton, and then they said, okay, Ton is its own entity and it has its own CEO, and then Telegram's its own entity and has its own CEO, and these are totally unrelated things. But now,
wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah, so then they launched it.
Apparently an arrangement, but it's separate. Yeah,
so it's like a
cooperation.
some sort of like SLA between this one entity and another entity, but they're completely separate. And that's
just like how ByteDance or whatever it is, TikTok is separate in China and the US.
Okay,
I'm sure.
I think it's more separate. Actually,
you think so?
I mean, if you can believe, I listened to an interview with someone from the Ton organization, Ton Foundation or Ton Foundation. And, if you can believe him, he's like, he doesn't really know. They don't have much connection with what's actually happening on like the app side of Telegram. They don't even get forewarnings of like what's coming in down the pipeline in terms of product or anything like that. They are quite separate, if you can believe that guy.
I don't believe that for a second. It's like when the CEO of TikTok US went before Congress and was like, we have no relationship with TikTok in China. We don't have any.
Did you guys ever see that clip though, where like the US guys were like, yeah, but you're from China. He's like, dude, I'm from Singapore. I keep being like, yeah, but you guys are China. And he's like, I keep telling you I'm from Singapore, man.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
I
do
Ton.
think
I like Ton,
yeah,
but I think
I've been looking for
Yeah.
I think they're not, and that makes it bullish for Ton, because if Telegram gets all tangled up in this legal stuff, Telegram might be like, yep, all right, we're just going full decentralized, and whatever's Ton's doing might be able to like take over, and that's what's needed here in the end, is like a permissionless, decentralized messaging platform.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only way to get around these things.
Maybe this is the pressure Telegram needed to go full giga, giga crypto privacy.
Exactly.
Like, they kind of were like already, growing. They're onto something. They clearly got product market fit. Billions of users using this thing. Integration with their little Telegram dApps and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe this is kind of like the shot across the bow, where all of these nerds are going to just convene in Russia or wherever they'd build stuff out of, and launch the most badass, better than Signal Telegram.
I'm all for it.
Do you think that the attack on Telegram has anything to do with the fact that it's the crypto platform?
No, I don't.
I don't know,
man. It's an
like,
afterthought.
But then the same week they go after OpenSea, which is like one of the only crypto projects that, I mean, when I say they, I'm just saying like the powers that be. France didn't. That was a Gary Gensler SEC thing. But like the only platform that didn't do a token sale.
It's so funny. I know.
And they're basically irrelevant at this point. Like nobody's really trading like NFTs at this point. So had they moved,
and they're not using OpenSea. If you're trading NFTs, you don't go to OpenSea.
Yeah, most of them have kind of moved on to Magic Eden. So it seems like they're just kind of like hitting them while they're kicking them while they're down a little bit. But it does make me think that like maybe there's some backroom discussions like, all right, we got to take out these crypto platforms that are, I don't know, making people feel free. We need to grind them into pulp. Make them
I don't
realize that
know.
they're just citizens of the EU and citizens of citizens of our globe, our global plan.
You will, yeah. But I when I read that story, when I found out about that story, I was like, it just seemed really incompetent, right? Like the SEC has had no luck this year prosecuting anybody, and it seems to me like going against OpenSea, they'd have much better chance of securities violations with some of the things that they've already failed at. What like it just seems like a really dumb waste of resources to go after OpenSea. Like, what a hard fight. I don't know, just like rank incompetence.
Yeah, I think
there's
there
no
was
chance
some.
that they win this, right?
I mean, who knows? Yeah, you put the tinfoil hat on again. A day before this, Trump announced his latest NFT.
Yeah. Can we play that video? Because I think it's hilarious.
Dude, his Trump cards, NFTs are the best. Every time I think about buying them, and then I get to the checkout, I'm like, this is stupid. What am I doing? I don't need a $100 Trump card.
I just want
Go ahead, dude.
I just want to play this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the Trump cards. Share.
This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all new stunning digital trading cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins. Here's the best part.
Okay, is this real?
Oh my god,
dude, it's totally real. Trump is 100% real.
when he said Bitcoins, it sounded like somebody just dubbed that over. Right?
No. He's above AI.
I'm doing great things for my Trump digital card collectors. First, there's the real physical Trump cards. Purchase 15 or more of my Trump digital trading cards, and we'll mail you a beautiful physical trading card.
Okay, that's enough.
Wait, because you forgot the part that he gets into the utility of his token as well.
Okay, let's keep going.
His cards. Like, let's let this guy sell a little bit.
Each physical trading card has an authentic piece of my suit that I wore for the presidential debate, and people are calling it the knockout suit. I don't know about that, but that's what they're calling it. So we'll cut up the knockout suit, and you're going to get a piece of it, and we'll be randomly autographing 5 of them, a true collector's item. This is something to give your family, your kids, your grandchildren. Number 2 is to purchase 75 of my Trump digital trading cards, and you will also be invited to join me for a gala dinner at my beautiful
Look at that picture.
I think that was AI enhanced.
We really have
he's a little skinnier.
Dinners with my collectors.
Wait, so
have a lot of fun
75?
together. We're going to have a good time. I'm keeping my Trump digital trading cards at the same price of $99 each. We've done that right from the beginning. So go to collecttrumpcards.com. It's really easy to buy. You just need an email address and a credit card or crypto. You know, they call me the crypto president. God. I don't know if that's true or not, but a lot of people are saying that. So don't miss out. Go to collecttrumpcards.com.
Look at those biceps.
Go right now and collect your piece of American history.
Okay, it's like
it's so cringe, but I love it.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's like when people make fun of like infomercials.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is, right? Like,
so for context,
is it self-aware?
75 cards. That's like $7,500. You go get to have dinner with the goat. That's not so bad.
Actually, yeah, that's reasonable. Like compared to
way more, actually.
Yeah, what it costs to like set up a booth at a crypto conference, for example.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pretty ridiculous though. But yeah, so then you launch your cards, and then the next day, SEC's knocking on the door of OpenSea. I don't know, man.
That's got to be a coincidence, because it's got to be a coincidence. How long does it take them to like put together?
Yeah, they've been
wells
probably
notice,
right? For like months and months and months, right?
Yeah.
But
everything's just a coincidence. Yeah, just coincidence.
All right. Hey, let's talk about this Tigran Gambarian thing. Have you guys been following this? the guy,
the guy's locked up in jail.
Yeah, in Nigeria. He's a Binance executive. He's also a U.S. citizen and a former U.S. federal agent who apparently was like instrumental in bringing down some like big financial crimes. So like a person who's served the U.S., right? You could say.
Maybe let's not make him out to be like some sort of hero. He was a fucking IRS agent. Right.
Okay, but
thanks for taxing everyone, Tigran.
The point is, you would think that like the U.S. would try to do something here to get it. Like he's been in jail for 6 months for something that his company allegedly did, which is like let people trade crypto. And he's been like poorly treated in jail. He's had malaria multiple times, pneumonia. He's like in a wheelchair. And so the reason I wanted to bring this up is this just more evidence of like, if you have anything to do with crypto, we don't want to help. We don't want to.
Maybe I guess I see it more as like it's evidence that you pay a lot of money to the tax man, and when you need them, where are they? It's kind of funny. Like there's some tragedy in here, but there's a lot of comedy in here too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Guy probably helped the government make a lot of money, and then the government just hanging him out to dry. Yeah, you got to wonder.
Yeah.
You know, joined the wrong team.
Yeah. All right, let's bring up something positive here, which
David's
is
just you're really quiet. He's like, I'm American. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, apparently not too many U.S. citizens get extradited from Japan for working at crypto companies.
Yeah. I hope he does okay. You know, hopefully they get him some help. But
I wanted to bring up something a little more positive here, which is this study. Bitcoin millionaires up by 111%. Crypto users reach 560 million. A new report reveals a significant increase in wealthy crypto asset holders, with Bitcoin millionaires rising 111% to 85,400, and individuals with crypto assets worth $1 million increasing 95% to 172,300. The report also shows a 32% increase in crypto users to 560 million and a 31% rise in BTC users to 275 million. Kind of interesting. So like half of the crypto millionaires out there are Bitcoin millionaires, and the other half are crypto millionaires. And it seems that both Bitcoin and crypto users are still growing at a pretty significant pace.
I think the issue with this is that we're calculating winning in base US dollar when the US dollar is not winning. So the ability for everyone to become a millionaire is actually much easier with, I would say, the inflation rate that's been for the last 3 to 4 years now. I think being a millionaire is a lot. Yeah, it doesn't have as much gravitas as it did in the 90s. You know, in the 90s, if you're a millionaire, you're like, damn, this guy made it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like, oh, you cool. You have like a house in Toronto. Congratulations.
Yeah, the median house price in like North America is like upwards of $1 million, isn't it? That's an exaggeration, but in some markets, yeah.
Not in Saskatchewan, not yet.
Also, I
Not
wonder if I can imagine a lot of these millionaires, Bitcoin millionaires and whatever, could be people who are already rich who then like diversify a little bit into crypto. It's not like we don't know if these are like long-term holders, right? Presumably,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
I gotcha. Yeah. So they've
if you're a
taken $1 million
yeah.
of their money and put it
Yeah.
into crypto.
Yeah. If
Well,
you're a
that's still interesting.
yeah, sure. I
Perhaps
agree, but
more interesting. Yeah.
yeah. But I think that kind of holder will increase a lot over the next, 5-10 years.
All right. Let's move on to our main topic today, which is what's going on in Japan with crypto. And David, you just attended for 2 days this big event in Tokyo, WebEx.
Yeah.
So could you just give us your first impressions to start off?
So my first
You've been
impression
to of several events now in Japan.
Yeah, and then
Go ahead. Yeah.
one in another country, Taiwan. The funny thing I'll say is, I don't know if you had this experience, Corbin, but Japan is very, very stingy with air conditioning. And so, like, when I was in Taipei, they had this giant, like, huge, super big building, and everywhere was freezing cold, right? Everyone's, like, wearing sweaters and jackets and pants.
Yeah.
But here we are in, like, some fancy hotel and stuff, and everyone's sweating, right? They don't tend to use air conditioning for this kind of stuff. It's a cultural thing.
Gotta start up those nuclear reactors again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Yeah. I think they also just don't understand the Western propensity of sweating. They don't have that gene, man. They don't get how bad it can be. You're killing us.
Yeah.
But I found in like Southeast Asian countries, like for example Indonesia or Thailand, man, they blast the air conditioning too.
Oh yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah,
Man.
you get on a bus, you better make sure you have a sweater.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Singapore is uncomfortable. I don't like it. It's too much. It's too cold.
Yeah.
I think I was going through Kuala Lumpur for the first time, and Graham told me, he's like, make sure you have some like long sleeves on, like a jacket or something if you have a layover, because it was ridiculously cold. But yeah, that's just a funny thing that I noticed. The big thing, I would say, the biggest takeaway I had was about government regulation. Like whether you think Japan's regulation towards crypto, its relationship with crypto is too stringent or not stringent enough, the fact that they have clear regulation and they've kind of worked to make it clear for businesses you're starting to see like the results, which are lots of native crypto businesses and even big traditional Japanese businesses get into crypto. And I, as an American, I felt ridiculously jealous of the fact that you can, I remember when all this regulation was starting to come on or be announced in 21 to 22. And I, I'm a crypto native guy. I was like, oh, this is bullshit. We don't need regulation. Blah, 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 blah. But then you go to this conference and then you see like NTT. They're making a wallet. They're setting infrastructure up to like help with like digital ID, all this stuff.
That's Japan's biggest telecom
Yeah.
provider.
Yeah.
Or the national one.
Yeah.
Is it owned by the government?
I'm not.
I think it is.
Okay, yeah. And then like SBI, super bank, and the Japanese, like one of these giant super banks, they're in crypto. They're offering securities on the blockchain, right? I mean, crazy. And Nomura, they also have crypto products, and so I was impressed that regulation really does help businesses get into a new industry. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, Corbin, when you were in Canada.
I guess I think some of those Japanese companies were largely kicking things off in blockchain crypto, like in 2017, 2018, probably even pre-regulation. So I think they kind of had to, like, I remember SBI was really heavily into like blockchain stuff early on, and then they went all in, and then I think they kind of retracted, and I heard they laid off a bunch of crypto people. but they must have kept enough of it going where they were like, okay, now we got the regulation, we can do it safely and properly this time. That's an assumption on my end, though. But yeah, like I would say that like clearly spelling out something clearly for businesses will allow them to build within those confines. I think there's a lot of begging for that type of clarity in Canada, but it came off very kind of like wienery, if I can put it bluntly. Just like, poor me, we'll never get regulation. We're, we really want it. I don't know. And in some ways that kind of like, I guess, annoyed me, but I get it. So in some sense, yeah, like you want clear and simple guidelines. And I think that's why places like Singapore and Dubai are kind of like crypto hubs. And now it seems like Tokyo sort of like they went a little stupid for a bit in 2020 to 2023. They got dumb. They went full giga stupid. And then all of the crypto companies more or less kind of like shut down or left and moved on elsewhere. And now they're kind of like, no, we're cool again. It's cool. We got clear guidelines. And now you see people building again. So in that sense, like, it's great. The push-pull, though, is kind of weird. And then it does also make me be like, well, what's going to stop it from changing again? Like, is it one Mount Gox away from being like, you know what, on second thought, we're going to shut down this whole regulation thing because like we've got a lot of pissed off people that lost some money in something. And maybe this was the wrong thing. We're going to just, be a little bit hyper reactive. I think what I like about, I think Singapore's model is that they've been fairly unwavering, despite all of the, 3 arrows and all the other stuff. They're just like, why treat this thing like, yeah. So that's kind of my take.
Did you, when you were at that conference in Canada, were there a lot of Canadian, like native Canadian companies or not really?
Some, like Coinbase Canada was there. They were banging the drum of like getting more regulation in Canada, more clear regulation. There was a few other Canadian companies.
No like traditional companies, no like
no.
banks
I didn't see any like
that.
TD Canada Trust or Scotiabank or like,
Damn, that's a shame.
Telecom, there was no like Rogers Telecom or anything like that. It was just like
Tim Hortons.
Yeah, like why isn't Tim Hortons smashing out NFTs?
Tim Hortons NFTs, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not there yet. Canadians, we're not. I'd say we're not typically trailblazers. There's a permissioned society baked into our core, largely driven by everyone that loved freedom went to the States, and everyone that loved the Queen and permission just stuck around in like Upper Canada. And just like hung out with weird French people and put up with them. It's just like everyone's so tolerant up there, but like chill. So yeah, it's a weird vibe, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And one thing I heard from there was Andy Mocha had this incredibly exclusive, expensive dinner at this estate that has like very strict rules in terms of like you have to wear a jacket and certain kinds of shoes and stuff. Anyway, I obviously didn't go, but I was talking to some people who did, and they were kind of echoing what you said, Corbin, that despite Japan's clear regulation and seeming willingness to embrace crypto, people in the space in crypto were still a little kind of exasperated with Japan because they were comparing it to Singapore and Dubai, just as you said, and that both Singapore and Dubai have kind of been so forward with this and moving fast with it as well. And I think they were like, they want Tokyo to do that more, right? Like put on the gas.
Yeah, I think the Tokyo of the 80s would have been hype around blockchain and crypto, but the Tokyo of 2020 onwards, I don't know, man. It seems like a little bit more on the move slow, kind of like don't rock the boat. Yeah. The nail that sticks up gets the hammer,
Yeah, and it feels like the only reason they're trying to put forward this image of like Japan Web3 is just that it's like an economic play. It's not about like, well, I guess that's just how everyone is anyway. So
Yeah, that's
there's
what I was
nothing
going
wrong
to
with
say.
that.
Yeah. The interesting thing I heard
yeah.
was apparently at this dinner, Japanese leaders and like both from the government and the corporate side were kind of admitting that Japan's economy has been mismanaged for the past 30 years. I mean, anyone can look at it and see that it hasn't really done anything. But the fact that they're even apparently willing to talk about that is hopefully a good sign, right? Like, hey, we've really messed this up. So
yeah, I mean, like, there's an opportunity where Japan could go all in. Do they have the nuts to do that though? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Japanese yen's kind of a dumpster fire. You could make some plays. You could go El Salvador and like throw a little bit of chaos into the room.
But
Yeah.
and also there's a great opportunity because Hong Kong is out, right? All the apparently a lot of the money or all the money that was in Hong Kong has moved to Singapore and Tokyo, right? So,
well, I guess the question then is like, if you were a Web3 business or a crypto project or whatever, would you more rather have a business and say live in a city like Tokyo, or would you rather have a business and live in a city like Singapore or Dubai?
I haven't been to
much
Singapore.
more appealing.
Most people would choose Singapore and Dubai.
You think so?
Simply because of the language.
That could be.
I've heard Singapore is nice, but it's just very restrictive.
It's a shopping mall.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, like,
yes. And Dubai has no nature. I've heard even people who don't like nature have told me, they're like, I like Dubai, I love living in Dubai, and I've never really liked nature at all. But the fact that there's no nature and you can't do anything except walk in hot sand, even for city dwellers, they're like, it's just too much.
Yeah, the amount of fake flowers and stuff like that you'll see out there is quite funny. But they're very believable. You'll walk by and like, look at that beautiful. Oh wait, that's fake. God damn it.
Holy shit.
Japan is notoriously difficult for foreign entities and people to assimilate in, like to just the bureaucracy. You need a lot of deep connections to make it work.
You need a local team basically to help you there. Without that, you can't just be like, I don't know, some crypto bro from Massachusetts and be like, all right, I'm just gonna upheave my life and come live in Tokyo without any knowledge of the business space or the language or anything. It's Japan can be Asia on hard mode at times.
Another theme that I kind of got a feel for, and again, I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts, was, of course, these are like I saw a lot of traditional companies in Web2, and then like banks and stuff like that getting into like crypto, and as you'd imagine, it was fairly centralized, right? Like custodial centralized solutions, and the main reasons given, which I appreciate actually, are the kind of the insane customer service that you have to have, and then security concerns and like some of the branding stuff. But
so what is the product if it's custodial? Like, how is that a crypto product? What are we talking about?
So I mean, everything from like wallets that are almost like permissioned, basically, right? They hand hold new users and my parents' age people to
So you don't a wallet where like an exchange, a centralized exchange,
kind of, but I think it's like it's almost like I'd imagine, I didn't get too much into the details, but almost like I'd imagine it's more like a multi-sig where the company itself holds one of the signatures. So if you fuck things up, they can come in and help you unfuck stuff.
Okay, well that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I think FTX Japan benefited from some of these regulations in the sense that they had there was a law that required the funds to be custodied onshore within Japan, which basically ensured that anyone that did have exposure to FTX that was in Japan, that their funds were safe and kind of segregated from the rest of the chaos. So it seems like most of those people were actually made whole much earlier than the other creditors. So yeah, I guess it makes sense that you'd have some of these companies or crypto products trying to build off of these like rails of that type of custodial side of stuff. I get it.
Yeah, so I was just wondering what you guys think. Like, it seems like Web 2.5, 2.75 ish. I don't know.
That's exactly what you'd kind of expect from Japan, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to be like the leaders in the pack. It's just going to be like, oh yeah, you have it. It's somewhat good. It's better than before.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I to me though, I was looking at this and I could imagine this happening in other places like Europe, for example, right? Like they love regulation, and I would say their regulation is kind of like overwhelming, and I think they would love to have this kind of model of it has access to Web3, right? So it uses the same rails, but it's more permissioned. And I don't know how I feel about that as like a direction for the industry,
I mean, I think it's lame, but I get it for like grandma, if she's just like looking for exposure to some like volatility, then, I get it. Maybe that's fine for her. She's cool with trading on like the Japanese version of Robinhood or whatever. Like, cool.
Do you think like mass adoption would be more like this though, is what I kind of worry about, or I don't even know if I'm worried about it. Like, will it turn out that Web3 really just kind of settles to like Web 2.5 or whatever? Like that's where the majority of people kind of stay and use.
I think if that were to happen, then we've all failed bigly.
Yeah. But something does need to give. Like you can't. There's got to be a better way to help people not lose their money.
Yeah, totally.
Than just having your seed phrase, like written on pieces of paper scattered around your house.
Also, yeah, the whole address thing, right? Like, oh, I forgot one letter or whatever, and now it's gone forever. Oh.
I think like some of the innovations that are happening in the MPC wallet space are probably the biggest opportunity for making it normie enough, like normie friendly enough that you almost abstract away part of the wallet and it's recoverable through like 2 of 3 where one of the companies holds one of the seeds. And you've seen this in a few other like different wallet apps that have social recovery and things like that. I think there's some creative ways to, shard the private key and make sure that the user is, guaranteed to have access to it, even if they really screw up. Yeah.
Cool. And then the last thing, Graham, is one more okay? Or should we move on? No, we can talk about it later. I can save it for another time.
Yeah. All right. Let's
okay. Well, maybe just question for you because you were on the ground. Would you, if you were like a crypto entrepreneur, are you opening up shop in Japan after seeing WebX?
No, probably not. I mean, what you guys were saying is totally right. I mean, if you have the money, if you have enough cash, then yeah, and you like Japan, it's. I'm super biased because I live here, but I have not lived or visited a better city in the world than Tokyo. You have access to everything.
It's the best. It's probably the best city in the world.
Absolutely the best. Safest. It's clean. People are nice. Public transit is omnipresent. Access to nature unparalleled. Snowboarding, skiing, beach,
food's good.
Mountain, food's great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can't be like a entrepreneur in a garage and start up in Tokyo, basically, if you're not like Japanese, right? So I know, like, for example, the backpack team, they did Mad Lads first, Solana NFT project, and then off the back of that success, they started, or I don't know if they started a company, but they moved to Japan because they just wanted to live here, and then they started their company like that. So it can be done, but they had cash first, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's go to our last segment of the show and tell. Let's start off with this wonderful meme that we have here. Just a moment, please. Entire screen. This is a good one. This is a good one right here. The unattractiveness of male nerd hobbies. Thank you to David for finding this. A post by Nick Carter, where there's a list of 10 or so male hobbies, geeky hobbies, such as building models, stamps, Dungeons and Dragons, and they're ranked by their unattractiveness to women. And at the top of the list, the least attractive male nerd hobby is Funko, which someone's gonna have to explain that for me. But second to least is crypto.
I had to Google what a Funko was.
Yeah,
because I was like, what the hell is a Funko?
I had to as well.
But have you ever seen those like little like anime Chiba kind of like like Thor and Marvel characters where they have a big head and like little beady eyes, and they're like little plastic vinyl figurines, and they're like in a small box, and I guess that's like a collectible that it's like the male version of like Thai Beanie Babies, I think. And they have like they've got like everything from like Marvel characters to like Mickey Mouse and like I don't know, whatever pop culture kind of crap there is. They just put them on these like little vinyl figurines, and apparently people trade them, kind of like there's value to them, and there's like rare ones and stuff.
Seriously?
Supposedly.
Why the hate? Why is that so unattractive?
I guess maybe because it's like
man-child,
right? It's the vibe of like you are such a dork that you collect these little pop culture things. Like you're a giga consumer. It's weird.
Okay, yeah, and slightly less unattractive, we have crypto.
I don't buy this. I just don't buy it. What the hell? Stamp
it's almost
collecting?
10% down, though. I'll take that, guys. That's a 10% hike between us and Funko.
I've seen quite a few like videos, like on the street videos of reinforcing this meme that crypto bros are like the worst.
PSYOP. That's a PSYOP. There's no way. There's no way that having money and having a lot of it is unattractive to women. I'm sorry.
Well, I think probably a lot of women think most people in crypto are poor because maybe they've dabbled in it and then they got wrecked and they're like, well, I couldn't make money on it, so these boys probably can't either, and they're probably talking about it like they can, but they're all broke.
Maybe. Okay, that makes more sense. So then these women are hanging out with losers.
Yeah, loser traders. Guys
loser traders. Yeah.
But like Dungeons and Dragons,
I think that's the issue, right? Like crypto, they put crypto under one bar graph. That's not fair. They could put trading under that. That's or they could put like NFTs. I don't see NFTs in there. There's levels of unattractiveness within this bar graph. It's kind of unfair to put us all under one bar.
Exactly. I don't know, Corbin, you've noticed this, but you go to conferences and a lot of people there have a lot of money, a lot of crypto money. And I'm just saying, I've seen a lot of thirsty looking women around that. So it didn't look like they were unattracted to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is always quite heavily dominated by penis havers, but there are occasionally women there that are there for the tech, and then there's very frequently women that are there for how do I put this without pissing off our producer? They're there to look for men of substance.
Yeah. Wow, that was really good.
All right, this is a good one. So, hey, Corbin, do you have a show and tell you'd like me to bring up here? Or if not, I'll bring up mine.
I had one with regards to the WBTC stuff. I don't know if you've seen this one.
Let me bring that up, yeah.
I thought that one was quite cool. It was just published this morning, I think, on Bitcoin.com news. So there was recent discussion regarding WBTC and the custody of it moving towards some sort of a group that also was somehow tied to Justin Sun, which caused people to become nervous that the funds would not remain one-to-one. Threshold Network put out a proposal just recently regarding how they are proposing saving WBTC. I think the general idea is that they would issue tokens of their threshold to make BitGo the largest holder of their tokens, and then offer their tech to allow the migration. I believe it's the migration of all of the WBTC into TBTC. And yeah, TBTC is cool. There's a lot of stuff happening there. I've seen some pools on Curve. I've seen some pools on Beefy. There's, quite a bit of interest, I'd say, going around there, specifically because it allows the individual, like the actual end user, to mint native BTC on L1 into TBTC on Ethereum. And that TBTC also is, bridged over to Arbitrum, Polygon, other stuff as well. And I think the general idea, though, is that Threshold Network would become the only merchant of WBTC, allowing them to be the ones to kind of like handle this project going forward. BitGo would get a big bag of their tokens and become a part of this Threshold project. And in theory, this would provide a safer path for the future of WBTC. The proposal just opened up. I think they're still kind of like discussing it, but it is an interesting alternative option towards what to do about WBTC, because there are people that are kind of concerned. And I think there is a limited amount of time before that migration towards this alternative entity will take place. I think it's just a matter of weeks. So
interesting.
Yeah, I'm for it.
I did my first TBTC mint and unmint. It was quite cool.
Oh, cool.
And with like ETH fees being quite low, it was interesting being able to go from BTC onto BTC on ETH and then back into BTC. Pretty cool.
Awesome. To read up on this.
Yep. I'm a fan of wrapped Bitcoin, and I mean that in the general sense. Bitcoin on other chains. I think it's good.
It's cool.
Yep, I am too.
All right. I don't have anything good for my show and tell. So David, I want you to explain. Where did it go? Hold on. This what to build thing. Just a sec. Yeah, what is this? I couldn't understand.
Okay, so
this is a thing.
Okay. Do you want me to read it first, or
sure,
just
or
explain
it, or yeah.
Okay, so this is from, I forgot, I don't know what the year is. Does it say? Oh, 2007. And Y Combinator, right? They're they what's it called? What do they call it? They
incubator.
Yeah, they incubate projects, and this was a Y Combinator project called Dropbox. Everyone's probably pretty familiar with it now. And there's a comment on this new project, right? I have a few qualms with this app. Number one, for a Linux user, you can already build such a system yourself, quite trivially, by getting an FTP account, mounting it locally with curl FTP-FS, and then using SVN or CVS on the mounted file system from Windows or Mac. This FTP account could be accessed through built-in software. And the whole
trivial.
Point, trivial, right? This is a dumb product because you can do this. And the point is that yes, you can do this, and there are options that allow you to do a lot of things, but making it easy and accessible to lots of people is a viable product. And then Dropbox is now used probably by this individual or something like Dropbox, right? Like Google Drive, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is someone posted this in response to someone saying, oh, this person got lucky because their app is just commercializing something that individuals can do by themselves. And it's like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So there was an entrepreneur, and they were being celebrated for making a product, and then this nerdling on Twitter was like, oh, he got so lucky. He just commercialized something that we've all been doing for years. Yeah, I thought it's really funny and quite true.
Yeah, there's a lesson in there for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's
All
just
right.
comical though. Yeah. So.
I for one like the nerds.
Oh,
They're
I
funny.
do too.
No.
But just like when you get into all this like FTP and SVN and even
totally.
when I talk to our engineers, sometimes like, oh, David, that's easy. You can do blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot of mouth breathing sometimes happening. You know, you just kind of be like, okay, okay, nerd.
Well, they'll tell me things like, David, if you're having trouble with something, here's how you do it. Go to your command, go to your console. And I'm like, no, stop it.
Yeah. Okay. Is that the pod?
Happy Friday. TGIF, boys.
Okay,
yes,
thank you,
right.
gentlemen. And thanks for anyone who deigned to listen to us this week. Please come back next week. We're looking to have a guest next week. Should be interesting. All right, we're out. Thanks, everyone. Bye.